My name is Back Zaggins, and I and my partner Manderz are amateur ghost hunters.
Are we stick with amateur?
Yeah.
With something like 45 milk cartons of combined ghost hunting experience, we know what it means to get in, get the evidence, and get paid.
Special badge, oh boy.
We're here to take you on a first-person trip through a number of allegedly haunted locations using a crappy head-mounted camera and our complete lack of formal training to solve the mystery of how to make money off of other people's misfortune.
You get special ones for participating in different events, huh?
Yes.
Join us now for Ghost Misadventures, Phasmophobia. Our journey today begins with a summons to an abandoned farmhouse, a request undoubtedly given to us by the voice of the British overlord who hands us our orders like line cooks at a McDonald's. Strangely enough, he included some advice as we departed the warehouse.
Running isn't always the best option. Uh-oh. I'm inside you.
With the advice heeded and my pants tightened, we arrived at the farmhouse and began our investigation. The weather was forecasted to be calm and clear, exactly how we prefer to have it.
So there's a side garden and there's a backyard.
Oh, that doesn't fill me with joy.
The calm, clear, sunny day that awaited us was sure to be a positive sign of good things to come. We approached the front door, and just like with our recent trip to Nell's Diner, we had our first shock of the evening.
Yeah? Is it like a motion sensor or something?
I think it's supposed to be like.
Great.
I think.
Okay. Jeez.
It seemed that the light would be the true cursed object of this farmhouse. The flickering of the light was brighter than my future on this show, and like all good syndicated television, we're already over budget and underperforming on ratings. We spent a few minutes getting our bearings around the house before I noted something suspicious.
Is this supposed to be on the floor?
I don't think so. I have a feeling no.
With the absolute vote of confidence offered by Manderz, I could only conclude that the ghost had covered the front of this photo frame with superglue and had intentionally curb-stomped it onto the floor before we arrived in order to tell us something profound, that it hates art. After trying and failing for a few agonizing, terrifying, soul-sucking minutes to remove the picture from the floor, we gave up, because, as professionals, we know that sometimes the best thing to do is to ignore the things that are out of place in order to fixate on things that really don't matter.
I can barely see anything.
I found... Nope, that's a serving tray. I thought it was a mirror. It just has a weird edge lighting to it. Same with this vase over here. It shouldn't be glowing in the dark like that.
It's like...
So stunned were we to see such glitches in the physics of our reality that we never stopped to consider that it could be my crappy head-mounted camera recording a buttery smooth 4 frames per second at a resolution of 1 pixel per mile. This could only be the work of the ghost, evidently toying with us to break our professional demeanor. However, we were so confident in ourselves that we then went upstairs into the attic and passed through a beaded curtain, which felt especially good on my nip. We continued our search, and the ghost began going absolutely crazy. As you can clearly hear, the silence is evidence of a psychotic ghost running rampant throughout the farmhouse and terrorizing us in the process. It got so bad that we actually reacted in pure terror when we returned to the living room.
I do it like almost every single day, hours a day, and he's not even outside.
Did those lights just flicker?
It did.
The ghost must have thought that the front light wasn't scary enough, so it turned to using the living room's lights as a jump scare, and we reacted with the uncontrollable screaming and running you're seeing right now. We were so stunned that we had to make an emergency trip back to the truck to change our underwear and send the old pairs out for cleaning. We shipped them by Federal Express under the packaging handler Code Brown, which might have been better left with UPS instead. When we finished wiping, we returned inside to determine the ghost's true location, and it was Manderz who stumbled across the chilling conclusion.
It's the dining room.
With that solved, I then got confirmation of my own.
'Tis the dining room. Oh, I just see our breath.
Yeah, it's talking to me on the paramic, so it is in fact in here. That explains why it was flicking the lights in both.
With those sweet nothings whispered delicately into my sensitive ears, the frisky feeling came back to me, and I began moving all of my romantic offerings into the dining room to woo the flirting ghost. Eager to see if my charms had worked, I returned to the truck to spy through the cameras. This did not lead me to success, so I decided to try another approach, and that was when I got the shock worse than the time I caught my grandmother sniffing a broken piece of drywall behind the refrigerator at 4:37 in the morning. There, in front of me, was a broken wine bottle, complete with its red contents spilled all over the floor. Only a ghost clearly in the mood for something more crude could do something so rude to such a cool dude, so I checked my tude and...
And you said...
She's right here.
I don't have the video camera on me, dang it.
Apparently, my fat rhymes and offerings had earned favor, and she appeared before me singing the song of her people, which left me all tingly inside and feeling like I might just skip through a bed of rosies to find her pocket full of posies. Determined to continue the coy game of Guess Who, I temporarily returned to the truck, this time grabbing a bottle of dehydrated tears sourced locally from all those lonely nights I've cried myself to sleep.
Specifically ghost hunting salt, and not, you know, Morton salt,
Yeah.
name brand salt.
Yeah, it's just that salt. That's all you get.
Despite my generous offering of liberal heaps of dried tears, the only thing she could feel to do was to step all over my already felt feelings. I don't feel that she's feeling my feelings about these feelings that I feel, and especially since she did it again with the second pile, but perhaps that's a sign of a deeper connection, or of the inner workings of her past life as a dominator. My partner Manderz and I elected to reconvene in the truck once more, our quest for evidence still not yet complete, but then I had a revelation that needed to be shared with the world.
Probably the kitchen.
Sure.
Excuse you.
What? I blame the Taco Bell we had on the way over, but clearly I wasn't the only one attempting to cut the cheese.
She threw a knife at me.
I wonder if you're the target.
How fucking rude.
These feelings had me feeling all rumbly in my tumbly, so Manderz and I returned once again to the truck to regroup. If it seems like nothing was happening while we were there, you're wrong. This was hands down the scariest mission we've ever been on, and it's precisely because absolutely nothing of any value, substance, or meaning was happening. Nothing that would give us any clue as to what type of ghost we were dealing with. Not even the clear and intentional flirtation she'd shown me was an indicator of what we were dealing with. I scoured the notes in my journal, including some notes I don't remember writing about the format of my crappy head-mounted camera, to try and confirm whether or not I'd missed anything, both in the investigation and in my quest to get the ghost. Just as we were beginning to wonder if the romance had begun to die, the ghost dialed up the heat and scared us yet again.
Just keep doing a spook. Hi, okay, so she is in here.
Oh, she scribbled. She scribbled.
That's useful. Oh, she scribbled
Scrabble.
twice. Okay. Evidence
Where's the camera?
of ghostwriting. So Rev, Shade, and Moroi.
With our options narrowed down, we were once again invigorated by the thought of determining the ghost's true identity, but the fear of being scared, coupled with the intensity of her passion, were both just about all we could handle. I once again attempted to talk to the ghost, but when I had no luck using the same 4 generic questions that I was told to use by Winston, my boss, I then had to get creative with my queries.
Do you like eggs?
Do you like pina coladas?
Getting caught in the rain.
As we were already caught in the rain and had no remaining alcohol to go around, it was clear that we wouldn't be met with any new information about the ghost's intentions or identity in this way, and so I gave up the spirit box for the EMF reader to no major developments. However, when Manderz rejoined me in the dining room, we both learned a horrifying secret.
As soon as you walk in, everything starts going nuts. She likes you. Oh fuck. Yeah, she likes you.
The ghost had been flirting with me the whole time, only to double-cross me and flirt with Manderz. I began shaking and crying immediately after this, and then the ghost added insult to injury.
Are you Grandma? Oh my god, that was loud. My ear hole.
So it's a squawk box then.
Oh, she just wasn't. She wasn't interacting with it.
She's interacting with you. It's a Moroi.
A Moroi, intent on abusing my poor, tender, fragile, definitely unprepared heart. While I may be a kept man, I could not handle such a travesty to my fragile masculinity, and so with that delusion shattered for the night, Manderz and I returned to the truck to drive back to the warehouse.
Okay. Get the fuck out of here.
And with that mystery solved, and the ghost leaving us both confused and my ego in ruins, this concludes our journey. Manderz surprised me with a new proposition when we returned to the warehouse, and it wasn't the kind I could just turn down.
Alright, let's do one more speed run.
Speed run?
Speed run, Tanglewood.
Speed run Tanglewood.
Yeah. Cause I gotta get ready to leave.
With our priorities clearly at hand and not totally invested otherwise into our personal lives outside of ghost hunting, we drove to the Tanglewood location in less time than it took me to say this sentence. We started once again with high spirits, which is not the same as looking for spirits while high.
That is Tanglewood. We know exactly what this map is until they change it.
Yeah. Isn't that what they're working on? The revamp, you said?
Yes. Yeah.
Great.
Ghost orbs. Found 'em.
Oh. Well, we know where it is.
With the promise of a household to be remodeled and a very evident speed run in progress, the ghost caved to the pressure and offered us our first piece of evidence.
That's a 5. That's a 5.
With the promise of a house to be remodeled and a very evident speed run in progress, the ghost caved to the pressure and offered us our second piece of evidence. As I am laser focused on the goal of completing the investigation, and with the promise of an exceptionally fast speed run time, I naturally got distracted by wandering the property looking for other goodies I could potentially steal, which led me to my biggest discovery yet.
We've seen ghost orbs. Whoa.
Oh,
We need to
I
find ghost.
found a bone.
Ooh. Bone.
It is in the laundry room.
This was the third bone this ghost had thrown us this evening, and when I checked my bingo card before leaving the warehouse, none of the tiles listed that I would be getting bone. My investigation continued into the basement, where I found something truly terrifying.
Just flipped the ghost writing to me.
Oh, I found a Ouija board.
With a Luigi board in hand, it would be much easier to communicate with the ghost and find out its true intentions. I brought the Ouija board back up to the front door where it might prove useful if I or Manderz decided to mess with it. But since we already knew where the ghost was hiding, a Winga board might also just be nothing more than a kid's toy sold by Hasbro. It was then that Manderz said something truly shocking.
Ghost, get out of the way. Move.
Which one, the
Blocking
real one or the
entire
cat?
screen, cat. The cat.
Oh.
I didn't know that cats could be ghosts, nor that she had allowed such an anomaly into her house. The thought left me, shaking and crying. Manderz then took it upon herself to attempt to explain the ghost to me, but as I am an expert in ghostology, this was information I already had and was completely aware of.
I don't know what any of that means.
So, if you're in the room, stay completely still.
Hard to do that when you have to walk in and out of the room.
Standing still was not on my bingo card, but more dried tears were, and so I spread the little skin flakes in piles around the room.
Oh, we have fingies. There you go. It's an obake. Well, it came out here. That's fun.
With my clear deductive skills up to the task, I concluded that we'd managed to learn of the ghost's true nature and obake in record time of 7 actual minutes, which, unfortunately for me as a kept man, is far longer than I lasted last night. We returned to the warehouse to collect our prize money, and that sweet, definitely useful and meaningful and not at all arbitrary experience that we can bring with us into our daily lives, and totally isn't just reserved for this one edge case of use.
We did it. We did it. Yes.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are the greatest.
And with that mystery solved, and the ghosts leaving us both confused and my ego in ruins, this concludes our journey on this episode of Ghost Misadventures, Phasmophobia. I've been Back Zaggins, and I'll have another investigation written on some stapled together leaves for you next time.